Shalom, family trendsetter. All praises be to the Most High. I'm actually in my vehicle and I was thinking about the Genesis account where the Most High forbade Adam and Eve to eat of the tree of knowledge, right? Because the tree of knowledge represents good and evil. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if the tree of knowledge represents good and evil, and I thought knowledge is power, why are we instructed not to eat of the tree of good and evil? Why wouldn't we want to know what evil is as opposed to good? Because it's it's the yin and yang and shit, right? The opposite, right? You have good and you have evil. So how can you know something is good if you don't know what the fuck evil is? But that's for another story. Because again, the Bible for me, family, when I read the Bible now, I take what I can take from the shit because I already know the man wrote the Bible. The man wrote the Bible. But anyway, in the Genesis account, and I'm gonna paraphrase, it stated that God, it says God, it said Most High, God gave instruction to Adam first not to eat of the tree of knowledge, right, of good and evil, and I guess Adam passed it down to Eve, and then she was also instructed not to eat. But anyway, according to the story, the serpent, right, and a lot of y'all believe the serpent was a snake, but it wasn't. The serpent beguiled Eve, basically tricked her into eating the apple from the tree. But here's the problem with that. If God told them not to eat of the tree, right, of knowledge, because if the day they eat of the tree of knowledge, they're going to know good and evil. And then you had this serpent, a lot of y'all Christian believe it's a snake, going to go to a woman. So you're telling me a snake talk and shit. A snake going to go to somebody and tell them to eat some shit, and somebody going to listen to a snake. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, the serpent actually doesn't represent a snake in this particular story. The serpent is a metaphor, because basically the metaphor for a snake means cunningness, right? Wisdom, because snakes are very cunning. They're smart. So in this case, when it said the serpent, it wasn't necessarily a snake, goofies. It was actually a creature that was very cunning, right? That's why he tricked Eve. You have to be very cunning in order to trick someone. So he tricked her, according to the story, into eating an apple. But it wasn't even an apple she ate. It was actually sex. Now, how do we know this? Because I know a lot of y'all Christians go, no, she ate an apple. Don't y'all eat apples today? That means y'all sinning against the Most High, or God, right? No, it was sex she had, because even if you keep reading the Bible, it says, I shall put enmity, hatred between the serpent's seed and the woman's seed. That means it was two different seed. She was impregnated with two different babies, Cain and Abel. All right? I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but if you read the shit, it makes sense. I'm going to put enmity. Enmity is hatred. So even to today, there's two group of mankind on this planet. You have the humans and you have the mankind that the mankind hate the human beings. That's why today they put them in jail. They gun them down with their hands in the air, because the serpent seed live amongst us today. Trust me when I tell you that. Right? Cain, descendant of Cain, live amongst us today. They're the one that's ruling, because the Bible also said that Satan is the god of this world, right? But it's not really Satan, it's Lucifer. Lucifer is the god of this world. They put the word Satan in there to throw y'all off. So anyway, they was instructed not to eat of the tree. So when they disobeyed God, right, basically they knew they was naked. How did they knew they was naked from eating from a tree? They knew they was naked because they had sex, family. They had sex. They had intercourse. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they knew they was naked. And how do you also prove that? Because when, I guess they said the all-knowing God, they said God is all-knowing. But why did he say, where art thou, right? And what have you done? And say, if you all know, you're supposed to know where they're at. Why do you asking, where art thou? What have you done? You supposed to know what they have done. But again, the Bible, I don't know. But anyway, they hid themselves. Why did they hide themselves from God? If God is all knowing, you can't hide yourself from God. But okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, well, he's all knowing, but he's playing tricks with them, right? Why did they hid themselves? Because they knew they was naked. And why did they go and they got branches and trees or bush or whatever, and they made aprons to cover their private areas? If they sin with their mouth, why are they covering their private area? Why not they covering their mouth? Because they sin with their mouth. Why did God decide to punish Eve with childbirth? Right? Because, according to the story, right, she ate an apple. So if she sinned with her mouth, why wouldn't he punish her with her mouth? Like, shut her ass up, not to speak anymore. No, she was punished, right? In other words, again, I'm paraphrasing. It stated that she, during childbirth, she was going to feel pain. Why? Because that's where she sinned from, her vagina, her pum pum. You know what I'm saying? And then Adam, His punishment was that he had to go out there now and he would have to hunt for his food, because now he wasn't able to eat from the tree, the tree in the garden that the Most High said they can eat from. So now he would have to go out and hunt. And that's why his life was cut short. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're hunting animals, and then when the animal die, you ingest in death, literally, because there's a saying, you are what you eat. So if you're eating dead animals, then eventually you're a dead person too. But when you eat vegetables and fruits and shit, and I'm not saying that I'm a vegetarian, because I'm not. I'm trying to be, after the revelation I got from the Most High this morning. I'm going to gear towards that. But if you think about it, if you look at meat, right? Meat is dead. Like, you would never drive by on the street and eat a roadkill, or take a roadkill home. I know Korean people and Chinese people, they do that shit, because most of these foods y'all eating is roadkill. Y'all don't even realize that shit. But for the most part, you wouldn't go and see a dead animal, even a dead deer that just got hit by a car. You would not take that deer home and talk about, I'm going to take that shit home and eat it. Now, white people would do that shit, right? Because white people hunt. They hunt deers and shit. But black people, for the most part, we just go to the supermarket and buy the shit. But what's the difference between buying a dead carcass in a freezer, in some cases in Walmart, because y'all go to Walmart to eat, to buy meat? Who does that, right? What's the difference between getting the dead carcass off the street or going to a supermarket? The difference is the way how they manipulate you. They mind fuck you. You know what I'm saying? These hybrids have taught us how to eat meat, to become carnivores. We're actually herbivores. We used to eat vegetables back in the day. Adam was a vegetarian. He wasn't a meat eater. But these devils have tricked us how to eat, into eating meat. Literally death. We're eating death. If you look at a vegetable and a meat, right? You could go in a garden and pick, let's say, a carrot, and you could leave that shit on your table for like a week, and the shit is still alive. But you do that, go kill an animal and leave that same animal on your table for a week and see what happens. It start to decay, right? You start to see maggots and shit. And think about it. Why you think your shit stink or your farts stink? Because the meat that we eat is literally decaying in our body, decaying in our body. And that's why that gas, when you pass gas, it stinks, because that's that nasty decaying meat that we're eating. The Most High is revealing things to me to share with y'all. So the next time you think about eating some pork chops, because pig is like the word, that's a hybridized animal. Even cows. Cows are not normal. They're not, the Most High didn't create cows. We're not even supposed to be eating dairy, drinking milk. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't see an animal drinking human milk and shit. So why are we eating? Why are we drinking animal milk? Think about the shit. You know what I mean? So yeah. So when you eat these meat, you're literally shortening your lifestyle. You're shortening your lifespan, I should say. It's best for y'all to eat fruits and vegetables. The more fruit and vegetables y'all eat, is the longer y'all will live, because these meat have parasite. They have worm in them. No matter how much you cook them, a lot of y'all like to eat chitlins, the worst part of the damn pig, the pig intestine. That's what they used to feed our ancestors as an insult. And a lot of y'all have it as a delicacy. You know what I'm saying? White people eat rare meat because they're carnivores. They're hybrids. They're not like us. They didn't come from Adam. They came from us after we fell. You know what I'm saying? This is why they eat meat, to sustain themselves. Y'all talk about, well, I need meat to get protein. You could get protein from vegetables too. You know what I'm saying? And fruits. So I'm going to probably follow up with a part 2, because this shit is deep. Stop eating meat, family. This is why we're having high blood pressure and dying at an early age. With that, I say shalom.